For all of them, I'm going to be using my clips and my foam paper. I'm using white because I bought a set of white ones, but feel free to work with the colored ones. So first we're going to be making the books. The first thing that I'm going to be doing is cut 2 stripes out of this, one bigger than the other. First I'm going to cut the big one. Basing myself from that size, I'm going to be cutting the smaller one. Once I cut the smallest stripe, I'm going to be marking 1/2 centimeter 3 times, and this is going to be like the inside of the book. If you want the book to be thicker, mark this 4 times. Then I'm going to be marking them so I can cut them. This is the inside of the book. These ones are the pages of it. I'm going to be adding some glue, super glue on the top of these ones. Then I'm going to be putting the clip inside there, sandwich it with another page. I'm going to be gluing the third one on the top. I'm just going to be taking white acrylic paint and my brush, and I'm just going to paint the edges, pretty much what's going to be visible. I'm going to be taking my bigger stripe, and I'm just going to first measure how much of this I'm going to be using. This is going to be the cover of the book, and I'm just going to cut the excess, and I'm just going to be painting the edges of it for now, giving this few coats until it's opaque enough. If you want to go for colored foam sheets to begin with, just so you don't have to color anything, just go ahead and do that. I went for blue and red. I'm going to be gluing the pages inside of this like that, pretty much like a sandwich, and I'm just going to wait for this to dry. Then I'm going to be painting the outside of the book. Then to decorate them, I'm going to be using some leftover foam sheet, glue it on top. I'm going to paint that, and then I went with my Sharpie, the fine tip, and I wrote art because I don't have a lot of space in here, and because I really like art. And as a final step, I'm going to be adding that decoration on top, which is the same thing that I added on the bottom there. And then I added 3 dots in there. The blue one, I went with music in there just because I really like music. You can write whatever you want. You can write fashion, drama. Yeah, then I did the same thing with the leftover foam paper. Then I went with my detail brush, used my white acrylic paint, and I went over with the music word because I felt with the black Sharpie it wasn't visible enough. And then I went with my Sharpie and finished by drawing a music note. For the Mickey and Minnie one, they're pretty easy. I'm going to be using my foam paper as well. I'm going to be using this makeup brush, it's for the eyes, but I'm going to be using this part, working with a piping tip, mark that with my pencil. I'm going to be making my Mickey's and Minnie's ears like that. I'm going to be cutting this. If you have a cookie cutter or something that is this shape, just trace that, or even better, if you have a puncher that is this shape, just go ahead and do that. Because it's a circle, it's not going to be perfect. I'm going to be using my super glue, and I'm going to glue my clip in there. Then I'm going to be painting this with my acrylic paint, black one. For the Mickey, this is it. As far as the Minnie though, I'm going to be drawing a bow like this. Has to be puffy because that's the bow that she has. Cut it. And then I'm going to be painting the whole thing with my red acrylic paint. I'm going to be taking again my white acrylic paint, my Sharpie, and this dotting tool that I do have the DIY for. And I'm just going to decorate the bow. Add some dots all over the place. You can use a toothpick as well, but I just prefer to use this one because I can wash it after I'm done. The star is pretty simple. I just printed out a star, and this is the size that I went for, and I'm just going to cut this. I'm going to trace that with my pen on my foam paper. Again, if you have a cookie cutter that is this shape, just go ahead and use that. And yeah, I'm just going to be cutting that, doing the same thing. And in some cases I did add a small piece of foam paper on the back just so the clip was not as visible. I'm going to be using some yellow acrylic paint, and I'm just going to paint the whole thing. You can use any color that you want, but I really like yellow stars. Finally, we have a speech bubble with some phrases or saying in there. First, I'm going to be writing read me. My writing is not the best one, but that's okay. I'm doing this with my pencil, by the way, because I couldn't find my Sharpie when I was doing this. But if you want it to be darker, just go ahead and use the finest tip of the Sharpie. Then I'm going to be doing the speech bubble, and I'm just going to cut that. Here I'm showing you some examples of things that you can write, like good morning sunshine if you want to read the book first thing in the morning, good night, and a glass of wine if you wind down with some wine and a good book. But yeah, I'm just going to be gluing the clip on the back of it, and I actually ended up painting the edge of it with my black acrylic paint. So yeah guys, these are the ideas that I wanted to share with you. Hopefully there is something for you. I wanted to